Okay, everyone, I think we may as well get started. As I said, we have a very nice attendance today, but I'm sure people will jump in just now. James, can you just give me a go ahead that you can hear me okay? Okay, great. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. As you know, this is our monthly webinar series where we just touch on a little of Fanvil and Fanvil products. We like to keep it quite interactive and quite open. We try to limit these to about 20 minutes on our monthly call, and we touch on different products. This month, we're going to focus on our smart office product. This is more of your stuff, your consumer and your business is obviously getting into the sector quite extensively, and you'll see some of the new offerings that we've got. I just want to touch base that you remember that Fanvil is obviously our SIP phone VoIP provider that most of you guys are aware with. And then Linkvil is our product range, which is more of the video conferencing decked wireless solution kind of solutions that we go through. So a bit of an overview. There are quite a few new people on the webinar. So I just want to give a brief company overview of who we are and what we do as Fanvil. Like I said, we are very interactive here. James is online to answer any questions that you may have. The Fanvil itself is over 20 years old. Been in the industry, started off as an OEM manufacturer, and then obviously developed itself into a recognized brand globally. We can't believe the actual growth that the company and the business is having in the sector at the moment. There's a lot of big competition out there, and really the big competition is starting to feel Fanvil's presence globally. Very privileged to be on a lot of the company global calls and VCs, and just very, very impressed by some of the things that are coming through. Obviously, for over 50% of the company's value is invested in R&D through our three branches within China. And that 50% allows us to absolutely manufacture everything from conceptualizing an item all the way to manufacture within 6 months, which we feel is a really, really unique offering. Of course, we started out in the VoIP market, but we have digressed as a business and we are growing into some very, very exciting sectors. Some of the sectors that we really focus on is obviously our traditional business IP phones, which most of you are aware of. We've got a very big focus in the hotel sector. This is a growing sector globally, and we feel there's a very, very big need for there. A very niche market, not the kind of run rate business that you would get, more project-based business, but a very big shift and a focus onto that into the hotel space. The nurse call system is something quite unique. This is quite a captured market in South Africa, and we feel we've got a very, very good access to it. This is for your more boutique little hospitality solutions, small day clinics, nurse call systems where you've got a day clinic or a smaller hospital. This solution suits up to about 50 users, and those users can obviously use those devices. Just to say that we will touch on these things and we can touch them separately if you guys wish to do so. Access control is quite a big market for us globally. You'll see some of the big brands that we're up against. Our feature set like the I-67 and that we have facial recognition, QR code, fingerprints, PIN coding, have integration into a lot of big software systems, time and attendance software. We also have our own time and attendance software built into our FDMS, which is something that we can discuss further as well. Public access, public address systems is a huge market in South Africa. There is a massive market in schools. As we know, we're privatizing a lot of schools, and these solutions are absolutely fantastic. We do everything from the reception phone all the way to the broadcast system in the classrooms. Something like our A12V, which is a video conferencing for classrooms, where you can actually do away with the traditional box speaker like we know it from our schooling days, and you can actually see that that's going for full SIP solutions. And then our conferencing headset solutions, which we're going to touch on a little bit of today. Okay, so as I said, we're going to keep it short and sweet. This is a product range that I feel we need to really grow into in South Africa. There's a couple of big market players that do a lot of solutions. This is your small, medium enterprise solutions. We're not really into your big hosting, TV space, video space. These are small offices, a lot to do with huddle rooms and that kind of size. I would say up to about 8 to 12 seats around a boardroom table, and this is what keeps that solution from there. Okay, so, so the screen sharing is something that's become so prevalent, as you know, within everything. I personally do a couple of meetings a week, and I land up most of my days plugging into someone else's software solution. Some of them are really easy to use, and then some of them are just really, very difficult. So what we've gone for is ease of use. As you can see, the systems that we have in place are easy to plug in, easy to play. I'll show you now some of the dual connectivity systems that we've got via USB-C, USB-C or HDMI over laptops, HDMI ports, and as well as join on a Wi-Fi hotspot or Bluetooth into the device. So the functionality of this device, this one here, CA400, is exactly how that is suited. I've used this in several boardrooms around the world in the country that it's just so easy. You've got several different cables that will plug into the solution. The solution would have its little camera and its control set up on the existing TV. You'd literally plug and play one button, you're broadcasting, and you're using your functionality from there. As you can see, it plugs directly into, for example, this picture here, into a USB port, plug and play, instant presence. Very easy to use, very, very nice little system. Here's just an example of exactly how that would look. You would come, you would have your system set up, very much like I'm sure you guys have all got in your boardrooms at the moment. You've got your camera, you've got your control unit, and you've got your little CA400, which you plug into one of the ports, and then that would use your system, would plug in straight away. So this is what we would get on your unboxing. You would have the connectivity solutions. You'd have your camera. This would be plugged in via your HDMI port, your controller, which is RS10, RC10, and then your MS10, which would be your controller, basically like a portable speaker solution. From the box, you would have certain connections you would use. So this would be plugged in straight away. That would go back into the back of the unit of the CM70, and then you'd have multiple solutions that you can go from on there. Connection by HDMI, USB-C, and so on and so forth. Just a little easier use. You would literally plug this into a device. The device would register. You would see the device, and you would press this button. The button would then pick up the unit, and it would broadcast straight away over to the system. Very, very easy to use. Very portable solution. You could actually move this around if you needed to. Obviously, the camera in there makes it a bit more difficult, but this is something that you could actually do. And you'll see it is part of the Linkvil offering. A bit of a picture of how that looks. Okay, a bit more breakdown on the feature itself. It's got 3 speakers built in. I've personally used it in a boardroom with about 12 people, and it actually worked really, really well. So it's got all the features you would need to do. Press the steering on your steering scheme, HDMI to the camera, like we've discussed. Okay, a little bit more about the camera. Obviously, this would be your imaging camera, 4D imaging camera with pickup. 118 degrees of angle, and then obviously within the box you would have the remote control. Very simple to use. Activate the system. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. You can actually change the tilt and zoom on the camera as well. If you wish to focus on something, for example, you wish to focus on the people or to the back of the room, you can actually adjust that via the remote control. So not having to use any of the interfaces, you could just have someone who's leading the meeting holding the remote control. This is just some examples of how you would plug it into your features. As I said from the earlier, you have all those cables included in the box, and then you could actually use that from there. Compatible with most of the major meeting platforms. Of course, this is always evolving. It's always changing. It's always growing. But you'll see, I don't know of too many other ones that are coming out there. But this is the ones that we're compatible with. Dingtor, for example, is one that we use within our organization. 3CX is a very big one. As we know, the market's very big on 3CX in South Africa. Okay, that's that product there. As I say, if you've got any questions, you're happy to let James know within the talk, and he'll come back to you. This is something we're quite excited about. This is I've actually played with one. I've got one here with me. If anybody wants to play with it, they're more than welcome to. This is something that we feel is consumer based, but businesses are more and more focusing on this kind of device. As they go away from their standard desktops, and a lot of guys are using apps, MPBX, the MTN application, Vodacom's just launched their new application. So this is something that the guys are starting to use a lot more. For example, your MD would come through. So the feature set on this is to basically have a Bluetooth handset with a docking station. That docking station is Bluetooth. to the handset, and has wireless charging. So as you would come into the station, you could actually, as you put it down, the wireless charging would activate. As you would see there, you've got your push to talk button. So if your cell phone's ringing and you're outside or walking around, or they don't have the cell phone, the cell phone's charging, they can actually answer the call from the handset. You could also answer that on a speakerphone version. So if your cell phone is docked, you don't need to answer it on your actual cell phone. This will actually divert that beautiful little speaker system. Incidentally, you could even play music through your phone on that if you wanted to. And then obviously activate the wireless charging. Sleek dynamic design. It really is the size of a standard telephone. With this wireless charging, it allows for most cell phones. Obviously, not going to be big as a tablet, but without anything from I think the bigger phones to the smaller phones, as long as it's got wireless charging, would absolutely fit onto that. Okay, there's just some of the features. Again, we just reiterated on the Bluetooth handset. Obviously, the Bluetooth being limited up to 10 meters. We have personally, I've tested it over a lot further. Depending on the office environment, it would depend on how you're going to go. But up to 10 meters, the handset is actually nice. Very nice for if you want to dock your station, if you could go to the printer, or it's something like that, a receptionist or something that's monitoring the cell phone for a boss, perhaps monitoring the calls. You can actually do that through there. USB charging via USB-C. So you can actually plug a cell phone, pretty much a standard cell phone charger, into that cable, into that port, and that would charge. Okay, speakerphone series. There's going to be one or two little comparisons on this. This is that more unique kind of traveling speakerphone where you're going to be using it for small meetings, small huddle rooms, 3 to 4 people around a table, where you're going to have a quick meeting where you don't necessarily need the video functionality on that, but you're going to need the speaker functionality. Very small, very sleek design. Plugs into a little nice bag. You can keep this in your laptop bag and obviously make a call wherever you need to be doing it from. So this is a smaller one when it comes into range, about the size of a mid-size, probably almost the size of a cell phone. As such, quite nice economic design and very light to carry around. Also comes, as I said, with a case. Some of the key features to remember, obviously the portability, the elegant design, Bluetooth, which is nice to register up to Bluetooth. You can actually incidentally put that onto your cell phone as well and use that as a cell phone speaker. I'm not too sure the need on that, but it is very nice. 16 hours talk time, which is massive, and 24 hours standby time. So you can basically charge this on your travels and use it anywhere you want to go. A lot of airports now are doing little huddle rooms, little meeting rooms. This could be the perfect device to carry through there. Obviously, a three-way speaker, and then your access to touch, which is a very, very nice feature as well. A couple of application scenarios which we discussed. Like I said, more huddle rooms, meeting rooms, smaller environments. This is where this is going to be very well suited. A bit of a comparison. These are some brands that we know very well in South Africa. Obviously, the CP700 is quite a common, quite a popular one, and then the Speak series. I believe they will be doing a little bit more motivation to change the Speak series, and I feel that this is the space that we really want to be in. That company is investing a lot of R&D into making this personal speaker space a lot better. I can honestly tell you that our pricing on the Linkvil is substantially cheaper than the competitors, and we feel that this is something that's going to be really, really good into that consumer small business or mobile office space that we think is going to really, really be good. The next one we're going to touch on is a bit of a bigger solution. This is the CS40. The CS40 is for more of the bigger room, less portable, although it is still portable. You can carry it around, but it's not the kind of device you're going to be carrying around too much. Again, if you're not going to need video, you're going to need a lot of the other brands. You actually have to pair up 2 or 3 of these in order to cover the room space that we needed. Flexible connectivity, as you can see some of the features there. Very nice again for perhaps a bit of a bigger room, 8 to 12 people, where you just want to carry voice. So if you're not going to use the video feature of either like the CS range, you're not going to be able to use that feature. You wouldn't need to do that. Again, very ergonomically designed, very portable, very easy to use. And obviously this is with the speaker, the functionality. The again, USB. which is really easy to use. Again, you've got your Bluetooth. You'll see obviously the talk time drops quite substantially, as well as the standby time. So it makes it a lot less portable than the smaller one. But still, again, you can definitely use that. Obviously, we've gone up to a 5 watt speaker as opposed to a 3 watt speaker, and the size dependent. Instant touch to talk button, which is very, very nice. As I said earlier, you can see this is more of the bigger boardroom. Perhaps not the huddle room, but more of a small meeting room. We would have 6 to 12 people sitting around the table. With this design picking up, you can see the feet, obviously in the meters. 6 meters is quite a lengthy table. Bit of a comparison. Again, some brands you would know. We like to just compare them. You'll see a few more in this range. This is where a lot of the other brands are focusing. This brand, you will see the Jabra of this range also, and then obviously there's two in that series. Incidentally, you can pair those up, and we wouldn't need that with this brand over here, being the very new player, big player into the market. So that's a brief overview of what we are playing in that space. As I said, it's focused on the Linkvil side of life. So I'm going to just open up after this for any questions that you may have. And then I think we can jump through to the lucky draw. So the lucky draw we will do. We only allow that for people who are actually on the call. So I will do the spin, and then James will obviously send out the email. We're giving a V62 Pro away. This is our flagship product as far as we're concerned. When we start to play into the SIP space, we feel that this is the game changer. This has got the Bluetooth handsets and all the rest, and we still have our NFR, our not for sale retail project that we've got going on. I think we have about 3 left of the phones that we bought in, which will allow you guys to test. So if you haven't yet got one, please be in contact with James or myself, and we'll send one off. You understand that everybody's time is very valuable, and we do try to keep it within the parameters of the time. We do this on a monthly scenario. And I just want to reiterate that we are more than happy to set up a VC on specific models or features that you perhaps seen a different model or something you want to look. James and I are here to support you. If you've got a school project, a hospital, a hotel, anything you want to do, we always support you. And we've had very, very great success lately with helping customers set up individualized and specialized calls where we can actually get involved, set up a VC, get the slides going, and actually present to your customers from your behalf. We can actually customize those slides. So I think that is just from my side. I think that's a bit of an overview, and thank you for your time. James, I don't know if you want to see if you can just open up that the comment section, if there's any more comments going that anybody wants to have anything to say. Otherwise, I think we can give it about 2 or 3 minutes and